Welcome to our Vice President Education session. This is a session especially designed for all Vice President to talk with Program Quality Director of District 106. My name is Gopu Shrestha and I am your Program Quality Director. Every month I invite one of the best Vice President Education to come and share their experiences so other Vice President Education can learn from them. As all you know, Vice President Education is second in command, and they are the hardest working person in the club. We all have our work. Beyond that, we come there to serve our members to achieve their educational goals. It's a very laborious job, day-to-day activity job, but there are some ways where we can make our life easy as well as encourage members to get their educational goal. Today, I'm going to introduce one of the best Vice President Education. He is currently a member of 2 clubs. He already served in club area and now district. He is serving as a district public relation manager for District 106. Professionally, he is an architect in Azure. He works for Microsoft. This presentation will help our Vice President Education to learn some tools and techniques to make their life easy and make their own club survive and thrive. Please help me welcome our Vice President Education and today's presenter, Johnny Harbieh. Johnny, it's all yours.
Thank you very much, Gopu, for this nice introduction. I really appreciate it, and pleasure to be here on this call. I know you do this on a monthly basis to help members across the district get better at what they do and be much more efficient than they are, and help all these clubs to be quality clubs. I'll share a few things today here. I'm going to go ahead and flip over to my screen. I'll share a few tips of the trade of being a Vice President of Education. I had the pleasure of doing that a while ago at one of my clubs, a member of Leaders, and Christopher's in here. So today, let's talk about VP of Education. Now, most of you are here because of the invite on our District 106 events. And when we registered this class, we talked about how a Vice President of Education could perform their job and what are some of the techniques and the tools they need to have to do that job better. So as you might have seen in the event calendar, scheduling in advance and scheduling in general is one of those items that a Vice President of Education needs to have a handle on. Submitting members educational rewards and pathways, assigning mentors and mentorship. And this is why we're here, is to talk about all these things. And I'm here is to share my personal experiences as well. And hopefully we can all glean some insight and help you out with your VP of Education roles. So let's break this out just a tiny bit. Go ahead and maximize this here. Let's talk about some of the key responsibilities as a Vice President of Education. If you think of Toastmasters in general, Toastmasters got together because of public speaking. We're all here to be better communicators, but we also stay for leadership. First year, second year, all of a sudden, from a speaker communicator, you are asked to take on a leadership position, such as VP of Education. But always remember, we're all here to learn. A, how to speak and communicate better, and B, how to become better leaders. So what can we do? A few key responsibilities as a VP of Education are club meeting. Think of everything that happens in a club. The club meeting is the most important. You have to have a good agenda. right here. The agenda has roles and responsibilities. There's the Toastmaster. There is the counter, the grammarian, the general evaluator, and on and on. Those roles need descriptions. So as a vice president of education, especially if you're a new one, think about the agenda, think about all the different roles, and be ready to share descriptions. A new member that joins your club, a visitor that shows up to the club meeting, they may ask you, what does a Toastmaster do? What does a grammarian do? Well, make sure you have a description for it. Bullet point number 2, member progress. You are the vice president of education after all, so you are tasked with making sure that your members are progressing through their Pathways program. They're in school, they're in a university, and Pathways is the curriculum. As a VP of education, make sure you understand the program, Pathways. Make sure you help your members progress through Pathways, projects, levels. Some of the tips of the trade is you may want to have a workshop, half an hour a week on a Saturday, invite all the new members and current members of your club, and share information about Pathway. Do a little show and tell, walk them through the program, and get them excited. Under membership progress, not just the curriculum, Pathways, speech contests. You as a vice president of education, you are responsible to help the president and the membership VP to put together speech contests. And you may end up with a couple in a year. As you notice, I'm not going to dig in deeper into every bullet. We're just giving a little overview. We can come back later for a detailed session. Club officer. Think about you as a VP of education. If you want to become a president, wouldn't it be nice to know more about what a president is about, what a treasurer is about, and what a secretary does? As a VP of education, you're helping your members become the next leader in the club. So you're educating them on what the different club officer roles are. Training is next. You're training people constantly, either on the phone, sharing a screen, on a weekend session, half an hour over coffee. You're the VP of education. You're always training. You're the instructor and the coach. Speaking of coaching, you've got the mentoring program. The mentoring program is very, very important. As a vice president of education, myself a few years ago, that became a challenge. This is nothing easy to go after. However, if a new member joined, you want to make sure at least to help them find a mentor. Go ahead and ask your most senior Toastmasters if they can help that new member and connect the dots. So at a minimum, don't worry and don't stress out about bringing up a mentoring program or a training program. The least we can do is take a member and ask for help, whether it's a president or another senior Toastmaster, and bring them together. And lastly, key responsibilities of a vice president of education, the operations of a club. You are the second in command, and you are representing your club at business and area and other council meetings. If the district is asking for votes, you're there. You're there with the president representing the club. So in summary, think of a vice president of education in 3 main categories: the meeting, club meeting, the member progress, and the operations of running a Toastmasters club. Next, tools of the trade. Now, these are examples, samples of what we went through, but I'm going to show you a few tabs here on the screen to remind you of some of those tools. And I'll start with Toastmasters International. Obviously, you've got access to this. You're able to log in. I'm not a VP of Education this year, so I don't have access to the Pathways piece of it, but just wanted to bring it up. Log into Leadership Central, Officer Tools, Club Officer Tutorials, right here. Vice President of Education. This is the resource. Another piece of, or another tool that you would need out here is under Pathways. As a VP of Ed, when you go to Basecamp, I'll show you something here. You go to Basecamp, as a VP of Education, you're going to have another button here, another feature. You're going to log into Basecamp as a Basecamp manager. Why do you do that? So you can export your members' Pathway progress reports. That's going to help you figure out where each member is at on their Pathways journey. Next, don't forget District 106tm.org. We have a lot of resources on the district website right here. So if I scroll down, look at this. Role overviews, Vice President of Education. I click on this. An awesome reminder of my responsibilities. And guess what? Like anything else with Toastmasters, when you're in a leadership role, like a VP of Education, you can showcase that on your LinkedIn profile professionally. Why? Because this is all what you're going to learn. Look at this. You're going to gain so many benefits and a lot of skills from being a VP of Education. Next, we talked about agenda. I mentioned scheduling, right? Guess what? Those are the first things you end up doing as a VP of Education. And take advantage of the free Toast Host tool that we have available. And this is free. Your club doesn't have to pay for it. You can instantiate a club website. Pretty sure a lot of our clubs have access to this already. And as a VP of Education, ask for administration rights. Why? Because look at this. Right here on this website, I can have agendas. I can configure my agendas. I can email agendas to members. And here's an example agenda for the Leaders Club. Right here. Everything is here. I see Nancy is having a speech. Great job, Nancy. I can download the evaluation form. Project description. Here's the speech title, and here's the speech introduction. No more Word, no more Excel. Use the free Toast Host tool. Another couple of things I used as a VP of Education is a scheduling plan workbook. So this helped me to figure out people's schedules. So for example, if I have a one-on-one with Janine, hey, Janine, what are you working on this year? What would you like to accomplish as a Toastmaster? And if Janie said, hey, Johnny, I want to be a public speaker in a couple of years. I want to speak at conferences. Well, that tells me something. I need to be scheduling her to speak every week if I can, or every other week. So we use the scheduling tool, and we have a legend. S for speaker, W for word of the day, A for A counter. Right here. Legend workbook. And the last thing I like to mention is a forecast. A lot of members would like to know, what am I doing this week? What am I doing next week? I may go on vacation in 3 weeks. Am I scheduled to do anything? So we call this a forecast, and you're looking at an example forecast of how that could be done. All right, here we go. So in summary, I shared a few tools of the trade. I don't have access to Pathways Manager, but that's not a problem. You'll find that. We talked about the club meeting being the central focal point for a VP of Education, having an agenda, knowing what the meeting roles are and descriptions, making sure that your member is progressing. they're paying a fee for Toastmasters on an annual basis to get better at what they do. Make sure you're familiar with pathways, help out with speech contests, know about every club officer role, have some time on a weekly basis to train people, and make sure to connect the member with a senior member for mentoring. Not necessarily senior, but find a good mentor for that member. And then don't forget, you are on the leadership team, so you might as well represent the club in the council meetings and vote for the club. And that's what I have, 15, 20 minutes or what have you of VP of Education, quick, brief session. That's it. Back to you, Gopu.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you. It's a lot of work, but the way how you present was so easy. It's all are ready-made. Only what you have to do is pull in the information right on time so you can manage not only your time, but whole clubs and serve your member the best. That's all from me. If you want to connect with Johnny, you can go to our district106tm.org and contact directory. You will see Johnny Harbieh as a district public relation manager, or you all know me. You can shoot me. I will definitely let you connect with Johnny, and he can definitely give time to help you and make you grow. That's all from me. And thank you very much, Johnny, for giving your time and helping others.
You're welcome.
We are
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we are posting this video in our District 106 website. You can see this, repeat it again and again. That's all from us. Thank you very much.
Take care, everybody.